now 2 minutes to the bomb run. No fighters, no flak as yet.
発射用意用意撃て
Primary is no-go. 3 passes and the aim point still obscured. Flak's accurate for altitude and getting close. Navigator, plot course southwest to Nagasaki.
In 1942, when Nazi Germany controlled much of Europe, the United States and its allies were working on the most secretive, ambitious project in history, the Manhattan Project, a race to beat the Nazis to the first atomic bomb. The weapon was developed at Los Alamos, high above Santa Fe, New Mexico, where scientists built a plutonium implosion device. After years of round-the-clock research and industrial effort, they proved it could work. Just before dawn on July 16, 1945, at a remote site called Trinity in the Jornada del Muerto desert, the device, nicknamed the Gadget, detonated with a yield of about 21 kilotons. Night turned to day, and a man-made sun rose over the desert. President Harry Truman was in Potsdam when news of Trinity reached him. A coded cable from New Mexico reported the test had been successful beyond expectations. It changed the tone of the conference. With Churchill and Stalin across the table, Truman now knew the bomb worked. On July 24th, he told Stalin, deliberately vague, that the United States had a weapon of unusual destructive power. Stalin, with a smirk, replied, "I hope you'll make good use of it against the Japanese," knowing full well about the secrets of the Manhattan Project through espionage. 2 days later, on July 26th, came the Potsdam Declaration, issued by the United States, Britain, and China. It called on Japan to surrender unconditionally, promised no enslavement of the nation, but demanded disarmament and war crimes trials, and warned that if Japan failed to meet these demands, it would face prompt and utter destruction. In Tokyo, the divided leadership effectively did not accept, choosing to ignore the declaration with silence while pursuing a last-ditch hope for Soviet mediation. But even before that answer, the machinery was in motion. On July 25th, Truman approved General Karl Spatz's order authorizing the composite group to deliver atomic bombs as soon after August 3rd as weather permitted, against a target list that included Hiroshima, Kokura, Niigata, and Nagasaki. Kyoto, once atop the list, had been removed after Secretary of War Henry Stimson argued it was the cultural and academic heart of Japan, and preserving it would matter for post-war reconciliation. Tokyo was not chosen because months of firebombing had already devastated the city, making damage assessment close to impossible. Instead, Hiroshima remained largely untouched, making it an ideal site to clearly gauge the atomic bomb's devastating effects. On August 6, 1945, the meticulously planned mission commenced at the Northfield Air Base on Tinian Island. At precisely 2:45 a.m., the silver Boeing B-29 Superfortress named Enola Gay, piloted by Colonel Paul Tibbets, roared down the runway, carrying the world's first combat-ready atomic bomb, codenamed Little Boy.
Weather's clear ahead. Ceiling unlimited. Maintain course and altitude. ETA to the IP on time.
2 accompanying aircraft, the Great Artiste, equipped with instrumentation to measure the bomb's explosive force and necessary evil, tasked with photography and documentation, followed closely behind. Little Boy was a gun-type uranium-235 fission bomb weighing approximately 9,700 pounds, or about 4,400 kilograms, designed to achieve critical mass through the rapid firing of a uranium projectile into a uranium target. This sudden union would initiate an uncontrolled chain reaction, releasing the equivalent explosive force of approximately 15,000 tons or 15 kilotons of TNT. After a 6-hour flight covering roughly 1,500 miles, or about 2,400 kilometers, the formation approached the Japanese mainland around 7 a.m. Weather reconnaissance aircraft, straight flush, had earlier confirmed clear skies over Hiroshima, sealing the city's fate. Approaching at an altitude of 31,000 feet, or about 9.5 kilometers, Tibbets began his bombing run, handing final control to Bombardier Major Thomas Farraby. Japanese radar detected the small group of aircraft around 7:09 a.m., prompting initial air raid sirens in Hiroshima. However, when observers realized it was only 3 planes, the military assumed it was merely a reconnaissance mission rather than a bombing raid. Tragically, they cancelled the alert, allowing daily life to resume in the city. At 8:09 a.m., the target, Aioi Bridge, near the city center, came clearly into view through Farraby's Norden bomb site. Precisely at 8:15 a.m., as Enola Gay reached the optimal release point, Farraby triggered the mechanism, opening the bomb bay doors and releasing Little Boy toward Hiroshima. Approximately 43 seconds after release, Little Boy reached its predetermined detonation altitude of 600 meters or just over 650 yards above the Shima Surgical Clinic, missing the intended target, Aioi Bridge, by roughly 240 meters or about 260 yards. At this precise height, radar altimeters triggered internal mechanisms that fired the uranium projectile into the target, initiating an instantaneous, unstoppable nuclear chain reaction. The explosion occurred in less than a microsecond, unleashing energy